Hello, first graders. Today I have disguised myself as a dinosaur. Now, as you remember, in the beginning of Greater Than, Less Than, we met Allie the alligator, and she went back to the bayou. So I have brought a disguise of her cousin, Danny the dinosaur, see, to help out with Greater Than, Less Than. So, what do Danny the dinosaur and Allie the alligator have in common? Look at our big, sharp teeth. So, remember, in Greater Than, Less Than, the alligator and now the dinosaur always eat the greater number because we're so hungry. So, my mouth is always going to be open towards the greater number, see? So let's keep that in mind as we begin looking at the greater than, less than symbols. As you can see, the alligator mouth looks a lot like the greater than and the less than symbol. Remember when we talked about how in math we still read from left to right, just like when we're reading a book? The same rule applies here. So if you see the open end of the symbol on the left side first, that is reading greater than. If you see the open symbol to the right, that means it is less than. So if that point of the less than symbol comes first, then you're reading from left to right, so that tells you that is less than. And there's also the equal to symbol for when our values are the same. So one of the first things you want to ask yourself when you're comparing two numbers is, how many digits does my number have? So if you're comparing a 2-digit number to a 1-digit number, you can already know that the 2-digit number is going to be larger because it has 2 places instead of 1. If you're comparing two 2-digit numbers, you're going to have to dig a little bit deeper to figure out which one is larger or smaller. So let's compare the place values first. We want to look at the place on the very left first. So here, I'm looking at the tens place first in 23, and I'm comparing 23 to the number 2. If you look at 23, 23 has a 2-digit in the tens place, and if you look at the number 2, there's nothing in the tens place. So that already tells me that since I have 2 tens in 23 and 0 tens in the number 2, that 23 must be larger. So, remember, like Allie the alligator and Danny the dinosaur, their mouth faces the larger number because they're so hungry. So I'm going to draw my symbol, and it's facing the larger number. So we said we read from left to right. So if I'm reading this, I would say 23 is greater than 2. And the reason I chose to say greater than is if I'm looking from left of the symbol to the right of the symbol, the open side of the symbol comes first, so that means it's greater than. Okay, let's compare two other numbers. They are 30 and 32. Now both of these numbers have 2 digits, so we are going to have to dig a little bit deeper. So first we're going to look at the tens place. In 30, there's a 3-digit in the tens, and in 32, there's a 3-digit in the tens. So guess what? They are the same so far. Since they are the same in the tens place, we're going to move next door to the ones place. Look at the ones place in 30. What do you see there? A 0. So 30 has 3 tens and 0 ones. 32 has a 2 in the ones place. So it has 3 tens and 2 ones. Now think about when we compare those ones places since the tens are the same. What's more, 0 or 2? And if that confuses you, think about what comes last when you're counting. 0, 1, 2. So 2 came after the 0. So I know that 2 is greater than 0. So that tells me that 32 must be greater than 30. But we said that in math, as well as reading, we read from left to right. So I'm going to draw my symbol, and remember the alligator mouth faces the larger number because it's so hungry. So if I'm reading this, I would say 30 is less than 32. And the reason I say less than is because 30 was to the left of 32. Next, we're comparing 25 and 25. Well, they both have 2 digits. They both have a 2 in the tens place. So now we're moving to the ones place. They both have a 5 in the ones place. So what does that tell us? They are equal. So I'm going to draw my equal sign. Whoops, let me erase that. My drawing skills have not improved since you saw me last. So if I'm reading this from left to right, I would say 25 is equal to 25. Your challenge for today is to compare these 4 problems and use the greater than and less than or equal to symbols. And remember, we read them and write them from left to right. I'll see you tomorrow.